Hey everybody, and welcome to the end of another Legends of Novus Kickstarter day. We're sitting at 36% backed and 232 people have joined Legends of Novus so far. And I have some high hopes that that number will be climbing soon, reaching out to some different groups and trying to just keep on increasing awareness. A couple things happened today that are great to share with you. First, we had the interview with Richard Simpson from We're Not Wizards. And We're Not Wizards was a fun podcast that I've been listening to for a while now. And every time I hear him talk to somebody, just makes me value what they bring to the board game industry. And the humorous way he approaches it really brings a smile to my face. So I'm glad I got a chance to talk with him. Really got into some details about the game of Legends of Novus and how it got created. So when that's available, I'll make sure I share the link with you. But just want to let you know we had that chat today as planned. Another podcast that is airing tomorrow actually is a follow-up to the one that we did just last week about funding the dream. And that was thanks to Richard Bliss. Him and I had a chat over the phone talking about why the campaign maybe didn't get off to as well of a start as I thought it might, and where it might head from here and what could be done to make the campaign better. And he had a chance to talk to somebody who's been following his podcast for years, and that gentleman gave some good insight onto what I could do to restructure the campaign page a bit and maybe add a bit of flair or information to the campaign. So you'll see if you go back into the campaign, there's a couple of new edits and things have moved up and moved down the page there. And so anybody that becomes new to visit the site, maybe they'll get a different initial perspective of the game or learn a bit more. And I'm going to keep on working on that between myself and Andrea, the graphic artist and lead artist for Legends of Novus, to make it better over the next 2 weeks as we try to get more people to join our campaign. And also just wanted to ask how you guys feel about these daily video updates. So I know on many of the different Kickstarter common things to do or not to do, daily updates and daily videos are not highly recommended. So I've tried to take a different spin on it and make sure that every single video update provides you with some more information about Novus, whether it's a bit about the story or a mechanic or an element of the game board or whatever it is. And I'm just curious if those of you that do watch the updates or look at the updates, does it have any value for you? And do you feel that that's something you'd want to see in more Kickstarters, or you'd want to see absolutely abolished and never to happen again? So curious about your feedback with that. I, for one, plan to keep on going ahead with these daily videos, just as my personal difference I'm trying to make in my campaign. But other Kickstarters and other game developers may be interested in how you feel about how this particular campaign is going. Today we're going to talk about character sheets, and I know I touched on them briefly before, but we've got a couple more boards in and I want to talk a bit about the layout and the reasoning behind these character sheets. So we'll take you over to the table and talk about those. Hey everyone, today we're going to talk a little bit about the character booklets that are included with Legends of Novus. In the video you may have seen a paper version, but I really wanted to highlight the fact that these are a thick cardboard stock that are going to be a dual layer cardboard, and you're going to get 5 of these in the base game. Each of the 5 will be plain or interchangeable, so the ones you're seeing now are going to have character images within them, but the concept behind that has changed to make the game more expandable in the future. So here we go. There will be a cover and a back, and images on those may change slightly because right now they're directed to match the actual character that's inside, but with the idea to be expandable, we'll go with the generic class symbol on the outside, and there'll be some kind of different descriptor on the back, or perhaps even a reminder. I'm going to work on that piece. It's the inside that matters though, and when you open up the character booklet, this kind of represents everything that you're going to get in the game. So when you have your character sheet, you'll see that it's got that dual layer. I've shown this on another video, but I'll just kind of highlight it now. It's got the recessed track for where you're going to put your experience and combat tokens, as well as a recessed track here, and there'll be another recession in here. So if I'm actually going to be Beric the Druid of Vey, I'm going to put this in the recessed track, and his title and symbol are there instead of up on top. And then his class, as a druid, you can see it's written in there, but in the final version, you'll see that this will go in the recess track there. And again, the reason for that is so that you can change them out. And if the player wants to be a thief instead, then they would change those 2 cards out. What else can I tell you about this character sheet? So I started the entire game on the basis that this would be the visual for the character sheet. And I wanted to make sure that each player had something that they felt was unique in their own, and that's what this booklet is. You're going to have a space for your skills. So skills are something that you may or may not get in a game. It's not guaranteed, but should you get them, you have a spot to store them there. So for example, I may gain a skill that says I am the master of weapons. And that one allows me to have as long as I have a 2-handed weapon, I get a bonus, or if I have 2 weapons, I get a bonus. But no matter what, I still get a 2 combat bonus. So that could go on any one of my 3 skill slots, and that will increase my combat track. Or you may get something that is the opposite of a skill, and that is gaining a curse. There's only a few in the deck, but if you do encounter one, you have to place it on your sheet, and you may get a penalty for your combat, like this one is the mind-racking rail, or you may get a penalty to experience, or some other negative factor, and some creatures inflict curses as well. Again, the other thing that really highlights with the visual for the character sheet is the equipment you can get. So when you're gaining equipment in the game, you're going to place it on your character sheet, and there may be restrictions, such as this Demon's Bane sword has a restriction that can only be used by a fighter class. So right now, Vin as a thief icon could not use this sword, but he does have other abilities that may allow him to discard cards or sell cards to get gold. So cards in your hand are not useless. But he could, for example, equip a shield because it doesn't have a restriction on the class, and so he would put that in the hand slot. So the character sheet was designed originally with some giant images, but it might have seemed too striking and visually distracting on the tabletop. So we reduced the icons so that you can still see it, but it doesn't overtake the page there. And so we would put that thing there. If you're here's an example of one with the thief class restriction. The assassin's blades could be used by a thief or a fighter. So some of them are multi-class restricted. It doesn't mean you have to be a thief and a fighter. It just means you have to be one or the other. He will gain more combat strength. He could sell it for 25 gold, but that could go here. But if you see there, that's a 2-handed icon, which means that he is not able to have an icon in his other hand. For the other locations, I mean, there's all kinds of equipment you can get. Some of them will have restrictions, some of them will not. More of them do not have restrictions than ones with restrictions, and that's to make sure that you're not going to go through a game with having nothing to put on your character, because that would be kind of boring. So these character boards will flesh out each and every game, and they'll flesh out differently. You'll earn different skills, you earn different equipment. You may become a different advanced class, because as mentioned in the advanced class video, there's several different classes you can advance to. So with the character boards, right now I've got 4 samples. These came from China, from the manufacturer, and so this is a similar quality that you would get in the board that you'd be receiving. So again, the images will be blank. There'll be 5 different colored character boards, and you can see some of the colors on here. So it's that kind of a darker purplish hue, the green, the tan, and then the last one will be black. There's the red there. So again, very sturdy. Originally wanted to make this game with paper boards, but realizing that if you were to play this game multiple times, those could easily tear or get stained, or with these thicker boards, it just feels more professional. And I mean, you want to have a game that you like and you last and you're proud to open up at the table, and having these in addition to that beautiful map will be the thing that really highlights how this looks on your table. And tabletop presence is something that has been discussed in different podcasts and articles that I've read, and some games really thrive on that. Now this game has a ton of game mechanics that drive the fun of the game, but I wanted to make sure it looked visually appealing as well. From the amazing art from Andrea, to the quality of the booklets that you're going to have, to the quality of the map. It's all wanted to be top-notch for anybody that's interested in investing. So that's character sheets for Legends of Novus. Thanks for watching.